Hey guys, welcome to the video. Today I'm just doing NWOpening number 47, I think. And it is the TNA Wrestling Deluxe Impact Series 3 Velvet Sky figure. Lean it back. I got this in a mail opening a few weeks ago, and it's already taken me too long to get it open between life getting in the way, the heat in the UK a couple of weeks ago, etc. You know, it's really taken me a long time to actually like film videos and stuff. But we really have to get her out of there. I mean, look at the state of the card in. There is basically no point of her being in there. You know how, they say you should let them breathe, but if you can see there, Velvet Sky can already breathe. Like, the air bubble was broke a long time ago, so there's no point leaving her in there to sort of gestate any longer. And now this is the second Velvet Sky figure that I've picked up, and as AJWF pointed out, it is not the last Velvet Sky figure that I need to collect all three of them. I do already have the blue one. I was looking to pick up the pink one anyway, because I probably prefer this anyway. You know, I'm quite often saying I prefer like bright colours in attire. Pink really pops, I think, in attire on figures and stuff like this. I do really like the blue one as well, but I was kind of looking at picking up the pink one, and I happened to see this on bid for around the price of a loose one. I think it was about £16 or something like that. I just went for it. I used this blue one in a pick fed match recently, and I was really impressed with kind of the articulation on these deluxe aggressions and stuff. Like, she can almost, like, well, I mean, she can touch her head with that hand, more or less. You know, the articulation is really quite good, and I was really quite surprised with it. And they also scale pretty well to women's figures as well. We've got Kelly just here on the side. You know, the scale is more or less fine. You know, Velvet is a little bit bigger there, but it's so negligible that, you know, I don't really see a problem with it. But the main problem with this Velvet is that, you know, I was kind of thinking about collecting both of the attires anyway, but since I got this one loose and it's deluxe aggression, the joints are a bit screwed. And it's manageable, it's usable, but, you know, it is just a hindrance. And considering I was thinking about getting one anyway, this seems like the best of both worlds. A mock one that I'm very happy to open. It's worked out really quite well, to be honest. And I'll be completely honest, I should have bought one of these when they were in my Forbidden Planet for £13 for multiple years, way back in the day. But anyway, so as I said, it's a really nice figure. We've got no accessories with this one. This is actually sealed, unlike the Chuck Liddell I got a few weeks ago that was meant to be sealed and came in a state similar to this and absolutely wasn't sealed. So yeah, it's a really nice figure. And on the back in Series 3, we had Kevin Nash, Jay Lethal, Shark Boy, Sting, Matt Morgan, and Velvet Sky. Pretty good series, really. Not bad at all. Now, this is the first TNA Impact figure we have opened on the channel, although hopefully it's not the last one. There are a few more deluxe figures even that I would like to get, and there's probably a few Toy Biz ones that I really wouldn't mind picking up either. So let's get her off that moldy old card and get her out. And everybody, obviously, this will have already happened by the time you get here. So you guys can't pray with me, but here's hoping. I'm praying to the joint gods that her joints are going to be in great condition, because deluxe aggressions, Jack specific figures in general, and, you know, quite commonly had terrible joints right out the gate. I don't mind just sticking this on a shelf, to be honest, but yeah, and I'm very glad to get this mock, let's put it that way. Okay, so I'm just going to go in through that open bit there and decard her. It's a nice easy rip. We won't leave the backing card in there this time. And that's nice little, just that little bit there, just push the figure out without having to like drag any of the joints. That works pretty good, especially when you're worrying about loose joints. This figure looks so clean. I mean, obviously it is really clean. It's just come out of the packaging, but you know what I mean. When people say something looks clean and they mean smooth and tidy and nice, it looks incredible, to be honest. There are a couple of marks on her leg, like there and there, but you know, this looks really good, and you know what? It feels really good as well. You can't feel the legs moving while I'm holding this. That's a good start. One thing I do notice, however, is that she does have that Jakks Pacific stickiness on her hair, which is a bit weird because this one doesn't. But I think it's the paint, because you can see the highlights in the hair are different paint, and I think it's that's making it sticky. That's a bit annoying, but you know, we could always head swap it, or we could just get over ourselves. So there's no accessories in this one, as I say. So we're literally just getting into the figure, really. So getting a close-up on the head, I think the one thing that Jakks did really well with the TNA figures was the head molds. I think most of them are pretty much spot on, and that's definitely Velvet Sky in there. That's definitely the only thing that makes me wish I could still watch NWA, but I physically can't do it to myself anymore. We got the silver line across the shoulders, which is pretty interesting. Nice pink attire and everything. It's basically the same sort of like leggings as she's got there, where she's got like the 4 stockings on. We've got the tattoo on the arm, lovely sort of tramp stamp on the back there. Says Slay on the does it say Slay? I'm pretty sure it says, oh no, it says Sky. It says Sky. That would make more sense. Slay also would have made sense. For a second there, I thought she was a trendsetter. Does it say anything? Oh, right. So it says Velvet on the back of the blue one. So you put them together, and it says Velvet Sky. That's pretty cool. Yeah, someone wanted these displaying on a shelf with the backs to you, didn't they? I think, considering how lazy Jakks were getting towards the end of the WWE run, they definitely put a bit more effort in once they got the TNA license. You know, the head is pretty good. We've even got like the wrinkles on the bottom of the trousers, etc., and the little kind of flesh parts on the side of the trunks there. Just really, really cool figure, I think. And now we'll get into the joint check, the most important part of the video. I have really high hopes for this, but never know. Not with the Deluxe aggression anyway. This is the most important part. So first of all, I don't even think the head moves much on the Velvet we already have, because of like these strands of hair down the side, but it moves fine. It's not loose. That's good. That shoulder is nice and tight. That bicep is a little bit loose, but it can hold its shape, and that's the important part. That elbow's fine, and the wrist is fine. Like, these are such underrated figures. These women's TNA Deluxe ones. Obviously, you get the problem with like the loose legs and stuff, but other than that, I would honestly be pressed to say that they may be better than elite women's figures. I mean, if we look at this Bailey here, I mean, it's a good example because she also has a very loose leg, but they don't stand particularly well. I think those ball joints on the legs give them a little bit more playability, and the feet are a lot bigger as well. The feet are probably scaled correctly on the Mattel figures, but it doesn't really do them any favors. I don't know how. Somehow I convinced myself that they'd fix that at some stage, and then I was very disappointed when I opened my Trish Stratus and realised they absolutely hadn't, and had fabricated that in my head. Anyway, getting on to the other arm. And there are some really cool women's figures in the TNA line as well. Like I say, I wouldn't mind getting a couple more of them. Gail Kim and Angelina Love would be more than at home in the DSW women's division. So that would be really cool. Just have to see how that goes. I've bidded on Gail Kim's before a few times, but just never quite landed them. And anyway, getting off topic, we'll get back in here. That shoulder's fine. That bicep is better. That elbow's maybe a little bit loose, but again, it holds its shape, and the wrist is really good. I do think, like, I don't really know what a WWE women's Deluxe figure would have looked like, because they didn't do any, but, like, when you compare this to a Deluxe, I know I keep going off topic, guys, but when you compare this to a Deluxe aggression, you kind of think, like, how did they design these so well, and then the actual Deluxe aggression figures are just so ridiculous and oversized. Anyway, torso joint, this is really the main one, and that is beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. That is gorgeous, and the waist is perfect too. And leg, It's tight. And the boots never move. Doesn't matter what style of figure it is, the boots never actually move. Well, that one goes up a little bit. That one does too if you really force it. Beautiful. She's got a slight nick there on the inside of her leg, but, you know, I think I can live with that. So, all in all, I think this is an incredibly toyetic figure. I think it's a really nice looking figure. I have no complaints at all, and right out of the packaging, we've got her in brilliant condition. I still really like the blue one, and I'm very happy to have both. And in cases where I might just be fedding stuff on Instagram, we might be able to still use the blue one from time to time. I will have to pursue the one that I'm missing to complete the collection. But yeah, I'm overjoyed with this figure. You know, I think I would have been happy with it even if the joints were rubbish, but the fact that they're actually in really good condition is just brilliant, and it means that Velvet Sky can build some momentum in DSW rather than being someone that I perhaps try and feature as much as I can, but maybe stay clear of because of joints and stuff. That being said, in this Velvet Sky's defense, that leg is very loose, but it wasn't nearly as much of a problem when I was filming the Instagram fed match against Melina as I thought it was going to be. However, it wasn't great, and obviously that was only an Instagram fed match, so it was a lot shorter, and you know, you were a lot less reliant on it. So what I like to do at the end of my figure reviews is talk about what they're going to be doing in my figure fed. And with Velvet Sky, I've kind of already alluded to the fact that I didn't really know up until today how her future was going to pan out in DSW. So yeah, Velvet Sky has qualified for the next round of the Women's Eliminator Tournament. So I think that is something that, oops, I really like Velvet, so I would absolutely love to give her a push. So she may be able to go a bit further in the tournament than I was planning originally. And then there is a second women's tournament coming in a little bit later on than that. It's the first women's legacy tournament, which is another tournament I used to do when I was a kid yearly. And I'll put that in air quotes. And basically this will be the first women's one. Velvet, I would like to do really well in that, but it really did hinge on how these joints came out, and that will most likely be pick fed anyway. But yeah, I guess what I'm saying is I don't really know what a future in my fed is going to be, but it is looking a lot brighter than it was before I nailed down this figure. And that being said, if you enjoyed this video, please do like, comment and subscribe. Check out the NWOpenings playlist in the end screen and my other content. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.